My first day at St. Michael's was primarily marked by terror. Um, I came to St. Mike's quite by accident in the middle of a school year. In fact, past the middle of a school year, I came around the 1st of February. I got a phone call in Ottawa from a friend of mine, Bill Redall, a Brazilian who was on the staff at St. Mike's. And he said, "You want to come down and interview for a job in teaching history at St. Mike's?" So I was terrified. And I would tell you quite frankly, those first few weeks, maybe even months, were not easy. I was fortunate, I guess, in coming into a school like St. Mike's. Quality of the student that I had in a history class was really quite exceptional. And that remained the case throughout the course of my teaching career here. In 1967, uh, the vice principal's job came open at St. Mike's, and Father Crowley, who was the principal, I think he suggested that I should consider being vice principal, and so I did. I moved into room 214. Well, I know I occupied room 214 for longer than any other person um, at that time had been vice principal of the school. And as a result, I think 214 became sort of a numerical acronym, if there is such a thing, for the vice principal's office. And certainly the students were familiar enough with hearing on the morning announcement, the following students, please report to room 214. I think I made the job easier for myself because I was interested in what the students were doing. And so I still coached. I went to hockey games, football games, basketball games. I attended the theater productions, the band concerts, not because I felt I had to, but because I enjoyed going to them. And I think it helped me because the students could appreciate that you were interested enough to come out to watch them blow the trumpet in the band on a Sunday evening. In hockey terms at St. Mike's, they didn't need more hockey coaches. They had far more qualified people than I. I organized the house league for the new arena when it opened that year. And to give you an idea of the extent of interest in hockey at St. Mike's at that time, I had a homeroom-based hockey league in which for a long time I refereed games both morning and afternoon. Um, and every homeroom had a team. Some homerooms had so many players who wanted to play that they had to have two teams. And that league went on for a long time, morning and afternoon. And there's no question it's a special school. St. Mike's is, in my experience at least, somewhat unique in the degree to which students who attended high school together remain friends and together to this day. My father attended St. Michael's College School from 1908 to 1911, um, and went on after being wounded in the war to being a professor of history at the University of Toronto for some 30 or 35 years. My dad, as a teacher at the University of Toronto, came in contact with a lot of Brazilians. He taught many of them, and many of them were not infrequent visitors to our Sunday night dinner table. Father Principe, Father Michael Sheehan, Father Ambrose Raffis, even Archbishop Flahiff were people who came by and had dinner with my parents. Um, Both of my sons, Brian and Peter, are graduates of St. Mike's. Both of my daughters, Marianne and Elizabeth, attended St. Michael's College at the University of Toronto. And of course, Elizabeth is today the department head of French here at St. Mike's, performing brilliantly. You know, when I started at St. Mike's, the lay staff was a very small group. The staff was primarily Basilian fathers and Basilian scholastics and Basilian seminarians who came up in the afternoon to teach part-time in the school. The lay staff was very small, maybe 6 or 7 of us. Um, some of them quite outstanding people, really. I think the fact that we were lay teachers opened the students' eyes to different possibilities. I think they saw us as people who enjoyed what we were doing. I take some justifiable pride, I think, in the fact that I did influence a number of people who were exceptional students of mine here at St. Mike's, of history students, to go on and become history teachers. So I guess there is a tradition, at least, that I think you can be assured that the teaching of history at this school has been in good hands for a long, long time. It sort of fell to me as the vice principal to dwell on the uh, discipline area of the school, part of the school's motto of teach me goodness, discipline, and knowledge. Um, and I would be quick to point out that discipline was more than simply a bundle of rules, and that if you transgressed them, you would be punished in one way or another. Discipline was to teach them the discipline of work, the discipline of punctuality, if you will, the discipline of being here promptly every day, if you will, and that all of the academic work that they had to pursue required people to approach it with a discipline. I've often said that a school that operated with the 4 Ps would be a successful school because they applied to both teachers and administrators as well as students. You were expected to be present, you were expected to be punctual, you were expected to be prepared, and you were expected to be polite. And if all 4 of those things came to fruition in a school, you would have an excellent school. I think they often did at St. Mike's.